Welcome back, everyone. Today I got a dream analysis video for you guys, and I haven't done one of these in a while. The last one I did with Nathan, I believe, and we went back and forth and told each other our dreams. In this one, I want to analyze a dream that I had recently a little bit more in depth and kind of pick into the weeds of what it might mean. So I want to start doing more videos like this in the future for you guys. I need to be careful because I've been reading more of Freud and Jung, and I'm starting to understand my dreams a little bit more deeply, and I understand how personal they can be. And I don't want to expose too much or expose something that later in the future I might regret. So I'm going to try to stick to dreams that are a little bit more archetypical, a little less personal. And I think that that's fair, right? That's probably fair to do. So I'm going to try to curate some dreams like this for you guys and analyze them in the future, because I think not only will it help me to hear your guys' feedback and to get them out there and off my chest and to talk about them, but I hope that it inspires you guys to go out and analyze your own dreams and to look into the deeper meaning of what's going on in your brain when you're sleeping, because it's weird. We've all been there. We've all had weird dreams. Sometimes they don't make a lot of sense, but there's a lot of nuggets in there, and you can read Freud and Jung to help better understand what's happening in your dreams, but I think just starting with writing them down and analyzing them for yourself is a good starting point. So with all of that out of the way, I want to get into this dream. It's short, but a lot happens in it, and I'm going to go through it and just say the dream. I'll give a moment for you guys to go in the comments and give me like a sentence, give me a paragraph, however much you want to write. Try to analyze it from your own perspective, not only for me because I'd love to hear it, but because I think it's good practice if you want to get into your own dream analysis, to analyze the dreams of others where you can. It's better to talk, to personal people that you know about your dreams, but I think I'm going to take a step here and start putting some of my own dreams out there, for better or for worse, to hopefully help you guys. But with all that out of the way, let's get into the dream, because it scared the absolute crap out of me for a couple days. So it started with me walking into a museum. Now, it was more of a palace. It felt like it was in Paris, but the Paris part I might have added after the dream. So I don't know where it was, but I walked into this palace, and all it was one great hall. One big great hall. That's all that I saw. That's all that I explored. And on the one side of the wall, the carpet I think was red. Most of the building was red. I don't really remember the architecture, but on one side of the wall there was 3 large portraits, and one of them was probably as big as this board here. The next one was probably, 2 to 4 times the size of that, and the last one was so big that when I was standing at it, I could barely see it. It was just incorporating my entire field of view. It was like an IMAX theater screen, and so I walk up to the first painting, and I see that it's Hitler. Hitler's in the painting. And from what I can tell, the painting was done in a German propaganda expressionistic style with elements of Hitler's own paintings in it. Very interesting. And it just said Adolf Hitler at the bottom, so I had this sense like he painted it, like it was his portrait that he made for himself. And it was there on the wall. And I looked at it, stared at it for a bit, and then I kind of chuckled at it because, he's postured up like this in a manly pose, and I'm laughing at it because I'm like, oh, you're taking pride and joy in the evil that you committed. Like, how foolish are you? And then I go to the next painting, and it's a bit bigger, and as you can maybe guess, the figure in the photo is Stalin, and it's done in a Russian Revolution, Russian USSR propaganda type impressionist paintings, right? And it's got Stalin again in a manly pose, and it says Joseph Stalin, and I think this is the painting that he painted of himself. So same thing happens. I sit there for a bit, think about it, chuckle, move on to the next. And the next one, as you can may guess, was Chairman Mao, and it was large, huge painting. I stand in front of it. Takes me a bit longer than the previous 2, but eventually I chuckle at it for the same reason. Like, look at you putting your face everywhere. I mean, you see this in China still, Mao's face everywhere, and you're like, why is this guy has so much ego to put his face everywhere, even though he killed 50 million people? I have a chuckle at it. I don't know why I was laughing, but We'll get to that. Then I find that there is a fourth portrait, and it's about 16 by 9. It's just a small little self-portrait. And I walk up to it, and inscribed at the bottom is Satan. And I look at the image, and it's every single representation of Satan that I've ever seen in my life in one image. I wrote it down because the way I defined it was that it was uncanny, shrill, distorted, disturbing, haunting, horrifying, terrifying. Every single word in that realm, it was all of those at once. And the face was morphing. It wasn't staying the same. It was morphing, and it was terrifying me. And I was just staring at it. I couldn't look away. I was in shock. I was frozen. And then the face slowly morphed into my own face. And I ran out of the building. At that moment, I was broken from it because I saw it shaping into my face. I ran out of the building, and I don't remember how, but I set the whole museum on fire. The whole thing went up in flames. And in the smoke, I see the same face of Satan in the smoke. And I'll give one little tidbit of information left in that dream, and then I'll give you guys a chance to go comment about it. The names on the portrait, I don't know how much of an important detail this is, but it was very interesting. The names on the portraits for Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in cursive. And the Satan was written in like the most basic font I can think of. And that was very terrifying to me for some reason. I don't know why. I still have to figure that tidbit out. I don't know why, but that was terrifying to me. It was like in a basic font, almost like it was it wasn't enough to like capture what it was, but it was so basic that it scared me. I don't exactly know how to say it, but anyways, I'll give you guys like a couple seconds here to go comment in the comment section, pause the video if you want, and let me know like what you guys thought of that. What was your interpretation of that dream? What archetypes did you see? What was the meaning there in your guys' eyes? And hopefully that can help me better understand what it meant. I have my own ideas, which I'll get to in a second here, and I'll break those down for you guys, and maybe my explanation of this dream can help you guys better explain your own dreams. That's really my goal here. So, my interpretation of this dream is a couple things. So obviously it's my dream, so I can relate it to my own life. So a couple things to know is that recently I've been reading a lot about Stalin and Hitler in particular. I've read a little bit about Mao, but it's harder to find stuff on him. From what little I have read on Mao, it's absolutely horrified me. And the books that I've been reading on Hitler and Stalin have done a lot to my psyche recently, in this past year or two. I've been reading the Gulag Archipelago, Colima Tales, Man's Search for Meaning, Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, Ordinary Men, and The Grape of Nanking. I know that that's a separate thing. That's the Japanese, but in the same aura or area, I guess. Yeah. Those books have been affecting me a lot recently. Listening to the Gulag Archipelago in particular, the Colima Tales might be more horrifying, just like face value, but the way that Solzhenitsyn, over 2,100 pages, lays out all of communism and its effects, it's made me physically ill at points. I've been listening to it in my car sometimes, and I've had to pull over because I felt like I was going to throw up listening to what I was hearing. It's actually like had a physical effect on me. So dealing with confronting these figures and their atrocities recently, and then this popping up in representation in my dream, I think is very interesting, because I go into a museum, right? I don't go into a church or an office building. It's a museum. I'm walking in somewhere to interact with the past. That's what museums are, right? You're interacting with the past. You're also interacting with great art. You're also interacting with science, but mainly you're interacting with the past when you're in a museum. And that's what I was doing there. I was interacting with the past. I was looking at these great figures. Now, the writing, the cursive writing, I'll have to get to in another video because I don't exactly know what that means. But the size of the portraits was obviously the death toll, right? 6 million Jews, 20 to 50, 60 million people in Russia, 40 million, 50 million, 100 million. We don't know how many people Mao killed. The fact that those gaps are so large is so terrifying to me. We might think that it's arbitrary and it's just people counting different numbers, but we actually don't know, and that's horrifying. So that's obviously what the portrait sizes were representing. Now, the last portrait, I want to get to that because that's the most interesting part of the dream. That's the part that really messed with me. Is there anything else I can say on the three leaders? I mean, I could talk about them forever. Eventually, I will make videos on them, what I thought of the Gulag Archipelago and other books and other things I've come across, because it's changed me forever. It's a process, this confronting evil thing, right? Because going to a museum, reading the past, reading history, it's the best way to confront evil without actually doing it or experiencing it firsthand. And I think you want to do that so you can see it in the world and you could tell when it's coming. And you could tell when it's coming in yourself, to recognize it in yourself. And we'll get to that because that's the last part of the dream. That's what that means. We'll get to that. But you want to be able to tell when it's in yourself and when it's out in the world. So you want to confront history. You want to confront the evil that we've done. You want to look into it. Like, it's not for everyone. You know, some people have weaker stomachs. I understand that. And there's no coming back from it. You can't unread some of these books, and they change you forever. But I think pulling the poles apart and expanding your character is a good thing. I think that's the result of it. I think it helps you navigate the world too. And I think Carl Jung said that the thing that you most need is to be found where you least want to look. And I think that's a similar thing here. And I've had other experiences on how I've confronted evil. Obviously, I'm a sinner myself, but I've worked in a hospital as a security guard in the biggest hospital in my city, and in the emergency room and in the morgues. I've seen things that have changed me forever. And I've seen videos online too. I even go out of my way to find them of some horrendous stuff just to like let me know that life can be taken like that. And sometimes it's more on you, like especially in the security guard position, it was more on me to like intervene and help. It was a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I eventually quit that job because it was just too much stress. It's one of the hardest jobs you can have in this country, actually, is working security in an emergency room. It's incredibly stressful, incredibly tough. You see a lot. There, I could go through it, but I don't want to talk about my experiences there, because when you're in a hospital, when you're in an ER, you're somewhere where everybody is at their lowest. It's the lowest point in their life. They're all experiencing hell at once in one place. And sure, you got angels floating around. You got nurses trying to help these people, but it's chaos. And I almost don't want to tell any stories from that because it almost feels wrong to those people. So I'll leave that aside. Anyways, I've been confronting evil in my life, and it's represented in this dream here. But at the end of the dream, with the portrait of Satan that turns into me. Now, why is the portrait so small? The portrait's small because it's a mirror. It's me. It's a personal thing. It's the evil within me. When I'm looking at Satan, I'm looking at the most evil thing. That image shocked me, right? I was frozen. I was in fear. The other ones I could look at, and then I could laugh at. You know, I could, and this is not to say like making Nazi jokes. Like, I'm not trying to connect that anywhere here, or making fun of Holocaust survivors or anything like that is good. But being able to have humor or seeing the world in light of those people is why I was laughing, I think. But when I looked at the pure evil, when I looked at Satan, I couldn't laugh. I was frozen because that was pure evil. And it was in this portrait, and it morphed into me because it was the evil in me. So what I got from that was the evil in me, the evil that I'm capable of, the Satan in me, is worse than those, than Stalin, than Hitler, than Mao. I am capable of being the next Stalin, Hitler, Mao. I'm capable of that evil, if not way worse, if that's even imaginable. I'm capable of that. And realizing that, embracing the shadow self and confronting it, like Carl Jung points out, that's important. And that was what was represented in my dream. And it's a realization that I've been having recently through reading these tough books, that I would be capable of it. Ordinary Men is the best example, because it lays out how an ordinary person like myself can go on to shoot pregnant women, you know? Horrible stuff. But that's what that meant. I'm pretty sure that that's what that end part meant. And then the interesting part of the dream that absolutely floored me and woke me up out of it was that I burnt the evil. I burnt it. I got rid of it. I burnt the whole building. Satan is in there. Stalin's in there. Hitler's in there. Mao's in there. I burnt the whole building. It's up in flames. But Satan appears in the smoke. He's still there. You can't get rid of it. The dark evil that's within man, within me, within you, within everybody, you can't get rid of it. You have to face it, and you have to wrestle with it and get it under control the best you can. But even when you think you have it under control, it can slip out from under you. That's why it's a snake, right? It's slippery. And I think that's what that dream meant. And the cursive writing might have been like part of they're painting their portraits, they're taking pride, they're taking joy, maybe even love is the right word, in the evil that they're doing. So they're writing it in cursive. They're making it an impressionistic style of their era. They're reveling in the madness that they've created. And the Satan in the bold font is like, no, Satan, pure evil it's not pretty. You can't love pure evil. Even if you are in love with your evil acts, something will come along and scare you out of your boots. There's always something worse than you. And there's something deep about that. And man, this dream, like, I wrestled with it for a while, because there's a lot there and there's a lot to unpack. But I think that's what that dream meant. And hopefully maybe you guys can enlighten me to some other things that are in there. And hopefully this video helped you guys to go and interpret your own dreams and figure out the deeper meaning in them. Because maybe when I first told this dream, maybe on the surface it didn't seem as deep. But maybe after me unpacking it, you went, oh, there's more there. If that light bulb clicked for you, then this video has been a success, even if just for one person. Because that's what I want to do with these videos, and making more of these in the future, is getting you guys to do the same and to help me, because a mutually beneficial relationship here on YouTube is what I'm looking for. Not only am I looking to educate you guys, I'm looking to learn myself, right? I'm making these videos so I can get my thoughts out there and articulate them, and then get feedback and then make better thoughts, so that I can learn and you guys can learn. And that's why I titled the channel Deep Thought. I hope we can engage in deep topics, more topics like this. I want to start pushing more towards psychology, toying with religion, toying with science and art, and finding deeper ways to look at those things. So yeah, if this video was helpful for you guys, please like and subscribe. It helps. I want to boost this channel up. I want to get to 100 subscribers. I want to get to 1,000. I really want to get this channel and this content out there to other people. So please like and subscribe if you guys liked this, if you found it helpful. And that's pretty much everything for me today. Thank you guys for watching as always. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.